Mrs. Bishop fumbles with the unfamiliar keys. Oh, it is the yellow one for the outside door, the darker chestnut gold, darkened like an old coin that fits the lock for. She will have to talk about the fact that in the hallway there is fresh evidence that that cat has been and gone again. She will have to talk to Gwen again, but not just yet. Mrs. Bishop steps inside, and as is proper, she has covered all the mirrors, and the blinds are drawn so the mirrors cannot peek. She has let the colour-draining darkness dryly speak. The door is slightly open. Light, despite her mournful pride, light, like an anxious child, brushes past her. Light from the hall, fluorescent, incandescent, pools behind her, spilling round her, her shadow rippling across the floor. A breeze separates the louvers, their gills breathing life into a home that is reluctant to drown in her denial. The window's light comes trickling, incessant, liquid, luminescent. The floor is swimming with the contents of the former owner, jetsam separated into piles of testimony. Makeup, toiletries, tweezers, razors, depilation cream, clothing, skirts that are far too young. Magazines of hairstyles and what one should and should not wear. Flotsam of the past surfacing into focus to make a point, then to sink into far too much pink. This was Mrs. Bishop's child's home. This was Mrs. Bishop's Mrs. Bishop's door. Oh, I do not like her name. There was no thought of pleasing me when she was christened. Mrs. Bishop listened to her heart, and by that newfound inner part, corrected. Mrs. Bishop re-inflected when she was re-christened. This was my child's home. She adopts a smile and fosters grace. This was my daughter's place. Mrs. Bishop opens the window and begins to tidy up.